morning, good afternoon, or good evening. It's my great pleasure to participate in this workshop and to have a chance to present you the approach developed within Terrifica project. The presentation was prepared by the team from Faculty of Human Geography and Planning at Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznanń, Poland, with collaboration of Norbert Steinhaus, the project coordinator from Villa Bonn Science Shop in Germany. The presentation has been divided into two parts. First one is a short project overview, and the second is related to activities at our university. The project's acronym Terrifica indicates its specific thematic focus, in full standing for Territorial RRI, Fostering Innovative Climate Action. Terrifica will run 42 months until June 2022, and the European Commission provided €2 million for our activities. The project is implemented by a consortium of 8 partners, 6 of which are located in pilot regions: Barcelona, Belgrade, Minsk, Paris, Poznanń, and Rector. The project is coordinated by Villa Bonn Science Shop. Each region or city has its own characteristic features contributing relevant aspects to the project's landscape as a whole, but they share, however, the need for climate change adaptation and climate change mitigation. Terrifica's approach to sustainable development goals is related to relevant topics that will be addressed by pilot regions with a specific focus on climate actions. The project has a few objectives. First is to involve citizens in agenda-setting processes corresponding to climate change challenges. The second is to develop climate change adaptation plans that will lead to institutional and governance change. Next one is to develop, test, and evaluate concrete actions focused on mitigation of and adapting to climate change issues. And the final objective is to make the RRI environment more inclusive to society and to include it in regional policy contexts. The project is divided into 3 phases. Phase 1 is called Getting Knowledge, and we are in this phase analyzing the state of the art in pilot regions in terms of climate change. We are reviewing the already existing strategies and adaptation plans, ongoing projects, and we are establishing communication structures with relevant stakeholders. In the phase called Capacity Building, we concentrate on designing of future visions for a climate-friendly city or region, exchange the knowledge of actors from civil society, science and local government, and building co-creation teams. During this phase, also customized training and national stakeholder workshops and field trips are offered. And the last phase, called Action Phase, will explore possibilities of actions suggested by various actors from pilot cities and regions and beyond. It will also deliver future visions, methodologies and scenarios to be used in other regions. In knowledge phase of the project, we already have delivered Guide on Engagement and Co-Creation that combines the experience of pilot regions. We also explored the best practices related to both climate actions, but also to models and frameworks of co-creation. Now we are in the second phase, in which we have launched the crowd mapping tool, developed in 7 region-specific language versions. The crowd mapping tool is dedicated to the identification of green, grey and blue infrastructures linked to climate change adaptation and mitigation. It supports identification of places on the map where users have observed positive and negative phenomena linked to climate change, called hotspots. It helps users to identify the local or regional key players and stakeholders involved in climate action, and it includes learning by doing approach, where stakeholders, users will be encouraged to learn and participate. Crowd mapping focuses on topics that require the know-how of local people to give scientific insights a face, and simultaneously the local knowledge is noted accordingly in the online tool. In Terrifica project, stakeholders will participate in the identification of regional needs and priorities by putting a mark on the map, and the information collected will be then used to develop climate change adaptation opportunities and roadmaps for climate actions in the regions. We will work with citizens within Live Lab activities in which we will try to solve local problems in a co-creative way. In the future action phase, we are planning to organize a series of summer schools in which participants from each pilot region will develop climate adaptation scenarios that correspond to their competences and the local findings. The aim is to develop ideas for positive future visions of the city's climate landscape 2030. This vision will be published as a result of a summer school and feed into the political discussion. Now let me move on to activities undertaken by Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznań in our pilot region. As previously said, Poznań is one of the pilot regions in Terrifica project and is located in western Poland. It is a very vibrant and academic city with a population over 500,000 inhabitants and a very dynamic social and economic development accompanied by a rapid suburbanization. The most important threats associated with climate change include the increase in average annual temperature and intensification of the effect of urban heat islands, increase in the frequency of extreme events like heat waves, cold waves, intense rainfalls, flood threats, strong winds and storms, but also droughts. These phenomena, especially in heavily urbanized areas, are accompanied by an increase in low emissions, which is a consequence of absolute heating technologies on one hand and uncontrolled and chaotic suburbanization process on the other hand. So the most pressing problems indicated by research are the following: air quality and especially the harmful effects of smog on residents' health, water management, meaning systemic and complex approach to rainwater and meltwater management, and spatial planning with a focus on supporting investments in green infrastructures. Taking into account those challenges, we created a co-creation team in our region with the representatives of four main sectors: science and education, policymakers, business and civil society organizations. In our work, the process of co-creation related to climate change mitigation and adaptation is understood as a form of creative activities taking place in the regional innovation system. It refers to a higher degree of stakeholder involvement in the process of producing knowledge, defining and implementing activities, solutions or projects related to climate change. What we are looking for within our co-creation activities? We are looking for new approaches, new forms of collective actions between public and private stakeholders, as well as new solutions with the aim of addressing social challenges through innovation. Apart from a series of interviews, informal and formal discussions and meetings, joint trips, we organized 2 consultation workshops with our stakeholders. First in a Word Cafe format, and the second was a remote brainstorming meeting. The main message coming from those meetings is stress the power of change, so that citizens believe they can make an impact. And the second message is to use the place-based networks for collective impact. So there is a huge potential of social capital in our region, and we have to use it if we want to make a change. Our main findings will be published soon, hopefully, but also we can indicate the following recommendations and discoveries from our region. Education first. It occurs that there is a need for elaboration of new curricula for schools and higher education focused on the challenges of climate change, as well as for promotion of comprehensive long life learning of all generations. Another point is to build a dialogue culture with the support of mediators if needed. The other point is to map and enhance of social capital and use its potential for climate actions. Development of new channels of communication, including the social media, will be crucial for elaboration of coherent goals and strategies for climate change adaptation and mitigation. And a very strong and important message for our science community, coming from citizens from our region, is to stress the need for strengthening the engagement of scientists in climate actions. Our project is just about to enter a third phase in a form of living lab. The future is quite vague, and we are working on new tools and solutions that will help us to strengthen the process of co-creation and communication in pandemic and afterwards. If you have any questions, please feel free to get in touch with our team and Terrifica project. Thank you for your attention.